Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 744. And as always, it's the Nerd Chicane here to host show. That's my wonderful co-host, Brad Young Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a wonderful, wonderful Monday night.
And thankfully for Brad, this is our final Gaspar Noé month, Gaspar Noé film review that we're doing this month on the on here for the public. And we're live early and ad-free over on patreon.com/nerdcore. For $1 a month, you get this episode live early and ad-free before anybody else gets to watch it and listen to it on Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central Time. Before we can go ahead and get into today's review, Brad, how was your day today?
Yeah, it was all right. It was okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was all right. So.
Nothing too crazy going on at work?
No. Tomorrow's going to be a bad day, but I can't get into that right now, so.
It's not Patreon, huh?
No.
Yeah. Man. Well, I've got, I went ahead and I just streamed today. That was pretty much all I did. I just streamed and, I, meal prepped for the next couple of days. So that's fun as always. Mm-hmm. Oh, just takes a lot of time, but it's fun. But, yeah, man, I went ahead and I did that, and then I streamed. I finally beat Kingdom Hearts. Fucking finally.
Finally? Damn.
Yeah.
It's only been 12 years.
Since the pandemic started. And I beat, and I started playing the next one, Chain of Memories. So, that's what I was doing today. And, other than that, man, just enjoying the not freezing weather here.
Yeah, it's coming to us here.
What's up?
It's coming over to us.
Yeah, you guys got it now. Yeah. It was raining yesterday pretty hard, though.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain tomorrow or Wednesday here. It might snow. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm watching Raw a couple of minutes ago. Actually, I still got it on in the back. But, yeah, man, other than that, not much else going on around here. Just been chilling. Yeah.
Chilling?
Yeah. I watched this film today. Yep. I popped in my Blu-ray and I watched it today in the morning. But Brad, how has this month been for you, Brad? This has been quite the fucking month, huh?
Not too bad.
Not terrible, but it's just like
terrible until we got to this one, and now I just want to punch you in the stomach.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well, Brad. I had to do it to you, man. It was either this one or like the really sex film, like the big fucking sex one.
Which I probably would have been fine with. This one, dear God, Jesus. This one's just a little much.
Yeah. But yeah, man. But who knows what we're doing next month now? Well, we gotta decide on that this week. But yeah. It's other than that, man. Next year, January is all yours, Brad.
I'm doing Sunday morning cartoons. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, you're like Brad's gonna be like, you know what,
Doug
man?
Movie,
We're just
Rugrats.
Yeah, fucking Great Mouse Detective. We're gonna do all the.
We did all the fucking childhood shows. Ferngully.
Yeah. Brad's like, we're just gonna watch a bunch of movies that are gonna make me happy, so that way I don't have to think about these fucking just insanely fucked up or sad movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, Brad, it's pretty on brand for me. On brand for me, huh?
My sister-in-law apparently does not like the Great Mouse Detective.
No?
No, she doesn't like the villain. She thinks the villain's too scary. So.
What?
Yeah, I was like, nah. Great Mouse Detective is the best.
How old is your sister-in-law?
She's like in her 30s.
She thinks it's scary?
Yeah. I guess the main villain. Yeah. Like Ratigan or something.
Yeah.
I thought Ratigan was pretty dope.
I mean, yeah. But I don't know, man. I've never seen the Great Mouse Detective, but I'm thinking about, like, you know, villains. I'm like, you really think the fucking villain against the Great Mouse Detective is scary?
I will say on Rockadoodle, the owl in that movie is terrifying.
Yeah. I did watch by the way, I watched that thing that Stacy sent us. The fucking
pretty bad.
That was pretty B level horror. B level as fuck, man. That was pretty B. Like I won't lie, man. That was rough. That was rough to watch. That
They
trailer.
said I did not watch that, by the way. I just automatically just crashed out and fell asleep.
Yeah. Just fell asleep. You fell asleep. You instantly fell asleep, Brad.
I instantly fell asleep, and I woke up when my alarm did 4:30, and I'm like, what? So I hit snooze on that bitch.
Yeah, you're like,
Got another 8 minutes.
like, enough of this shit. I don't want to sleep some more. But we were having some trouble with fucking what's it called, EV Mux and YouTube yesterday, but we got that figured out now. Apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was your internet, personally.
I don't know, Brad. I disconnected the fucking thing and I reconnected it, and it's fucking somehow worked.
I don't know.
But with that said, Brad, we should probably get into this film so we could talk about it, and you can tell me why you hate me.
Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, if you haven't seen Vortex, you should probably get out of here. We care about spoilers, but if you don't care about spoilers, or you've already seen the film, go ahead and stay. Either way, how it goes. This is your one and only spoiler warning, and it is in effect after these words from our sponsors in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Today's episode of the Nerd Court is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off your first order with code TheNerdCourt. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video. Vortex is a 2021 avant-garde psychological drama film written and directed by Gaspar Noé. It stars Dario Argento as a father and author in his first leading role, alongside Francois Lebrun as his wife and Alex Lutz as their son, Stefan. The film deals with the themes of the human condition and personal problems, uses a slow, minimal cinematic approach, and is almost defiantly restrained. A pockmarked, faded palette of the frame, depth voices, and the use of low-frequency background sound. The film premiered in the Cannes Premiere section at the 2021 Cannes Film Festival to widespread acclaim from film critics, a departure from Noé's previous films which had received divisive receptions. Praise was given in particular to Noé's direction, Argento and Lebrun's performance, the film's emotional power, scope, and ambition and execution. This marked Noé's professional and creative shift from extremity to the slow cinema genre, with the use of realistic character drama. Cinematography by Benoit Deby, of course. Edited by Denis Bedlow. And it sits at 2 hours and 22 minutes, and it made $278,472. This did come out during COVID times, though. So, yeah this wasn't going to make anything.
Gaspar don't make movies for the money.
He don't make movies for the money, bro. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and I'll read this little part here too. Vortex was conceived after some of the inspiration for the film came from Noé's experiences dealing with his mother's dementia, as well as Noé being diagnosed with a brain hemorrhage that almost killed him in early 2020. In his first leading role, Argento, who lives in Italy, learned to speak in fluent but heavily accented French, sometimes pausing and fumbling to find the right word. Noé persuaded Argento to play the role by showing him his film Love, which contains plenty of unsimulated sex scenes, which was the one that I was going to choose, but I decided to go with this one instead. Argento was shocked and thought Noé was asking him for a movie. However, he agreed to join the next film after hearing about the idea for the film. The film uses both split screen and medium format, much like his previous film Lux Aeterna. The film was completed in post-production at an exceptionally fast pace. Noé began working on the script in February. Filming took place in northeast Paris near the Stalingrad station between April and May, and the film was ready in July 2021. The dialogue in the film is completely improvised. Despite using the screenplay for Noé, the screen is divided into two parts between the couple. So other than that, I did read on the IMDb page that he also had some inspiration from his neighbors. From his childhood, who went through the same thing. But if you know his life, you know that this is kind of what his mother went through.
Yeah.
Except for, it's switched around. The mom died, but his father's still alive. And in this movie, the father dies and the mother's still alive in this movie. So, and of course, if you don't think that the son is inspired by Gaspar, then you must not know Gaspar at all, because that 100% is Gaspar. But Brad, I want you to go ahead and open it up here. What are your initial thoughts on Vortex?
Well, first off, Raul, I hate you.
Thank you.
Just to let you know, I don't hate this movie, but I hate you. I find it interesting how we go through all these Gaspar movies, and he finds a different way to show a film on the screen. Meaning, like he'll do very intricate and very specific types of screen movements, of just formatting. I mean, and that's what I found with this: the split screen, and then like the smaller screen. It really kind of puts you in that room with them, where she is losing her mind, and he's stuck in the room with her, and this small section on the screen they show is kind of what you have, and I think that is very smart and very dynamic in a way. So for all that, this is a rough movie to watch. This is probably the roughest movie, in my opinion. And we watched some rough movies in there, like extremely difficult movies to watch. I think this is the most difficult because you are literally seeing a family torn apart by a disease that has no cure. A man or a husband who cannot do anything for his wife, and a son who at the same time he's struggling to get clean from drugs, is having to deal with the stress of his parents aging and ultimately dying. And that is just puts it so much more, because so many people have probably lived through some form of that, of just watching your parents get old and, you know, struggling with that. So I think this one, it tends to hit a little harder than I think some of the previous ones we've seen. And for that, you know, I don't think this is my favorite I've watched from him, but I think it is one of the more impactful, one of the more, you know, it's a gut punch.
So I mean, so after I watched the movie, I actually watched the special features, because there's like 2 special features on his Blu-ray, and he said, what's it called? He said that his dad said that this was his what's it called, most painful movie he's ever made. He goes, he goes, you made a lot of stuff, and he goes, but this one was the one that hurts the most. Yeah. He goes, I can't watch this.
No, I'm sure for his dad, it's almost reliving it.
Yeah.
And it's just I mean, I've never had to live through something like that. I've lived through family deaths. My parents are getting older. They're not to this point yet. But it's a gut punch. It is painful. This movie is painful.
I mean, so now put yourself in my shoes, Brad. When I go see this for the first time, months after my mom passes, 2 years after my grandmother passes, who had this disease. So, holy fuck, I was in that movie theater fucking bawling my eyes out. If I remember correctly, I watched it with like 2 people. I think it was me and another person who was in that movie theater. I did not give a fuck. I wanted to go see this movie really badly, so I was like, I was going to see it regardless, whether there was somebody in there or not. But I rewatched it, man, and like Brad said, you know, I think the only one that is as painful to watch is Irreversible. I think Irreversible it's up there, but this is a very different type of pain. Like this one's like, holy shit, when it gets real as real can get. Yeah. Like I don't know how much more the picture needs to be painted for you. This is as real as it can get. I still very much think that Francoise Lebrun, her performance, that was my favorite performance of that year, and I still think it's the best performance of that year. Her just automatically how she just snaps into that character, and her facial expressions, like you could 100% believe that was a woman, that was a older woman going through dementia.
Well, the opening of this is them in bed. And you can just tell when she wakes up, she does not know what is going on. She
No.
doesn't know where she is. She doesn't know who she is. And it goes from there. It goes from there, and she'll have like, and what's bad is she'll have moments where she is there, and she's perfectly, she can talk, she's perfectly fine, and then the next moment, she's gone.
Yeah.
And the husband through this really struggles with that. The son is trying his best to do all he can to help, but at the same time, he's going through his own struggle.
Yeah. And he's trying to get clean, and it's like, I mean, it's very rough. Everything that's going on in this movie, and the split screen. At first, when I first heard about this movie, I was like, split screen. I was like, oh, I don't know if that's gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very hard. What's it called? It's a very difficult style to pull off. Because you don't know if it's gonna be distracting. Like, you don't know which one you're gonna be watching. Like what's it called? You don't know if you're looking at one frame or you're gonna miss out on what's going on in the other one. And I still believe that the film is not distracting at all. I think it even puts it into a bigger perspective, because one frame feels different from the other when they're next to each other. And you would think, once Dario Argento's character dies, that the film would just go back to, the 4:3, right?
Yeah.
But it stays like that. That other half is gone and there's nothing there, while the other half of the split screen still has a frame there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's really smart on Gaspar's part, just because it is like, I have a feeling like if someone has dementia, they are kind of stuck in that box. They're stuck in a smaller space than their mind just isn't there to take in everything fully. And I think I think there's multiple reasoning behind him doing this with the split screen and with the smaller ratio.
Yeah. And of course, you have you have those moments, like the kid, like his kid, what's it called, Stefan's kid, and just how, he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He has no idea what's going on.
No kid would understand.
No.
He's just there at his grandparents' house playing with cars, and I think that scene, the one where the grandfather gets, really upset because he thinks, the child's upsetting the grandmother. I don't think that's it at all. I think the grandmother was more upset with the grandfather because the grandfather's getting angry and she doesn't necessarily know who the grandfather is at that time. Yeah. That scene, and then the scene when it's all three of them, the son talking to the two parents and explaining how, there's a home, there's a retirement home, there with nurses and stuff that can take care of them. I think that scene's very hard hitting. Oh, yeah. Because I think that scene happens in most households. It's like, guys, I don't have the means to take care of you, but I can bring you here, and I'm worried that, if you fall, no one's going to be there. And guess what happens? Grandfather has a heart episode. He falls, and really, and he passes away. But the thing they show is his face after he passes away, and it's, puffy, and that's because he was on the ground face down for so long. Yeah. And that's just adding another moment to it that I think Gaspar does very well, is that continues the stories, like, this was another painful part of just the aging process, is this can happen. Yeah. It's almost, having to come to terms with mortality, with your own mortality. And it's like, it's not an easy movie. Everywhere around you throughout this movie, you're discussing death. I mean, the fucking, what's it called? The TV, the radio is playing some like whole like talk show about like death and about, the afterlife. Yeah. And even he's writing about these stories of what dreams and something kind of goes hand in hand with that, until of course the wife has an episode and rips up his papers and then it sticks them down the toilet. Oh yeah. Yep.
But man, I still think this movie is great. It's not my favorite one from him, but I think it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites, but it's not the best one to me. I think I still very much have Climax as number one.
There's a few I think I would put over this just
Oh wait,
as an
no.
overall movie, but this is I agree. This is the most painful one he made.
Oh yeah, this is the one that's really hard for me to rewatch. Like I can watch a lot of his again, and I have watched a lot of his again.
Yeah.
Rewatching this one, oh man, that was really really painful.
Yeah. No, I think Irreversible would be a difficult one to watch again.
Yeah,
But I think
yeah.
this one would be like, no. I think I'm gonna have to. If you want me to rewatch this again, it's gonna be like 5 to 10 years. Like,
Yeah, Brad's like, I'll be watching this anytime
I'm
soon.
just not.
Yeah.
No, I don't. It's just a rough one.
Oh, I mean, it's very real, man.
Yeah.
But you put yourself into his psyche, Brad, and I think this was the movie he had to make after almost dying.
I'm sure it's very therapeutic in a way for him.
Yeah.
But for the audience, I don't know. I think it might have the opposite effect. It might have the same effect. Um, but to me personally, it was just like one of those things of like, it's kind of one of those things you never want to think about. You probably should, but it's also like, oh, I don't want to think about my parents get old. Oh, I don't want to think about me getting old. But it happens sometimes. You look at your parents and you go, yeah, it's been a few years.
Yeah. What you think about fucking Dario Argento's performance, Brad?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
like it better
so
than
you'd
his
say-
movies. I like it better than his movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you'd say that you like it more than his directing?
Yeah, I like it more than his directing. So
Also, you like the fact that the only reason he took the role, he said one of his conditions was that his character had to have a mistress.
so that's why she showed up like at the one random moment.
Yeah, he said he would only do the role if his character had a mistress,
But even then,
which is pretty funny.
I mean, there was like the moment of this bastard, and then you're like, well, like, but you kind of get it. Like, he's lonely because his wife isn't there
Yeah,
in mind, and like you can't really talk to her, and you can tell it going through the house. Like, this was a house that was full of, I'm sure conversations and writings, and she was a psychiatrist, and
psychiatrist.
he
yeah.
was a writer of some sort. And I'm sure there was lots of conversation. There was a lot of love in that house. That's why they didn't want to leave. A lot of moments. And then when she gets this disease, I'm sure he just feels like he's the only one in that house.
But you see at the end, once they're where they go through those pictures of what the house looks like now, and it's like, the house is just a house. It's like what he says, like, what's it called? Don't cry. He goes, the body is just the body.
Yeah, dead people don't have homes.
Don't have homes. Like a house is a house. It's about the memories.
Yeah.
It's about what you make in that home. What the stories that you'll tell after, and especially the body. Like the body is just the body. Like once you see that body, it's gonna be decomposed and it's gonna become bones and it's gonna just turn. It's gonna be buried and it's like, what actually lives isn't the body. It's
the soul.
It's the soul.
Yeah, and I think anyone who's ever been a funeral for a loved one, you get in there and you see the body and you go, that's not them.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's the shell.
Yep. But Brad, what's your final verdict here?
I am going to give Vortex an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. What's keeping you from that 10, Brad?
There are other Gaspar movies we've watched this month which I like overall better. I think for this one, I just think I don't know. I think the stories on the others can be, I don't know if more compelling is the word, but this one, it's just so rough to watch.
Yeah.
That you're just like, you want to look away. You want the movie to end. That's my struggle. I'm wanting this movie just to end, and it doesn't end, and it continues until it finally does. And I think it's not fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I think some of those other movies are fun to watch.
All right. Well, that's crazy to say in a month that we've watched what's a crazy fucking movies here. But I gave this movie a 10 out of 10 in 2022. And after rewatching, so the way I had this ranked is I used to have it ranked where it was like what's it called? Enter the Void was above Vortex. But I finally got to rewatch Enter the Void, and even though I love Enter the Void, and I think Enter the Void is like near perfect, I had to switch it because this movie has way better performances from everybody in the cast.
Yeah.
Whereas in Enter the Void just has one performance that I think is lacking so freaking hard. And I gave this a 10 in 2022, and it sticks with a 10. But it's a 10 that I'm willing to slap that 10 on it and be like, yeah, I can't come back to this again.
I
think 2 years later was a great time for me to watch.
Yeah, from your point of view, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, man, that concludes our review of Vortex. And that concludes, at least for you all, the public, our Guest By The Way month. Keep up to date with us on nerdcore.com, Twitter at the Nerdcore_, Instagram at the Nerdcore, Patreon, Letterboxd at the Nerdcore, TikTok at the Nerdcore, Patreon.com/the Nerdcore, and of course, Patreon.com/the Nerdcore. Tomorrow at 8:30, we're doing our season 2, episode 2 watch along of Spawn, and then on Thursday, we're doing our final Gaspar Noé month review of what's it called? Of Lux Aeterna, which that's gonna be interesting for Brad. Brad, do not let Brenda be in the room for that. Not because of like anything that's happening in it,
but
he takes. Yeah, this one he takes the strobing to the utmost fucking degree, bro. Like like a lot. Like this one, it's a lot.
Are you saying I should get on my rave glasses and just go at it?
Yeah. Just fucking, what's it called? Dip in some of them little chewies, and enjoy the ride, Brad. But, yeah, man. So check that out, guys. And then, of course, we'll be back on Saturday and Sunday for what's it called? Actually, Friday and Sunday for Skeleton Crew and Creature Commandos. And then we're going to do the difficult, well, not difficult, but we'll see if it'll be difficult job of watching those first 3 episodes of Invincible and deciding whether we want to, review them or not.
Continue, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the plan this week, guys, so check it out. But without further ado, as always, thank you guys for joining us. Check us out on YouTube. Click the subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, like the video on the podcast app. Make sure you leave a 5-star review and you follow us. And thank you, of course, to our patrons. They make it possible. We love you guys so freaking much. Tell them about our wonderful executive producer, Shane, Brad.
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at ThriftedIL, or go buy something from the Suppy God at dpop.com/Prison City Vintage.
If you guys were, sorry, I didn't say this. I was going to give it to you guys. Actually, you know what? If you want to hear my ranking, you're going to have to watch the Patreon because we still have Lex Eterna, so that could move up or down for me. So if you want to see my ranking for Gaspar's movies, you probably want to be on the Patreon. But we'll be back tomorrow and Thursday on Patreon, but you will see us here in the public until Friday and Sunday. So, Brad, you made it, Brad. You survived. Now you can take a deep breath and send him out of here.
All right, Raul. Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to our listeners out there, our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to all of those who join us in future chats. To end this episode, I think all I have to say is take a little time, go call your parents. Young Yoda out.